I want you to just for a moment take a journey with me through my mind and at least try to see through my eyes the way I see for a brief moment and what I think. Now, I read several news articles regarding Hurricane Irma. I'm going to put a link on the bottom and I want you guys to read this article where at the same time there's three hurricanes simultaneously spinning at the same time. Simultaneously. Okay? These are hurricanes that's already forming and that have formed. Then I read articles and I see where people are lined up to get gas. Gas stations are running out of fuel. Supermarket shelves are empty. People are living in fear of the unknown. The only information we have is the only information that is fed to our minds and our spirits through the media and through social media. It's interesting that Joel Osteen, and not to stay on that topic, but it's interesting that Joel Osteen took a strict beating from the public because allegedly he refused to open his church to hurricane victims. But my mind wonders, since people were so concerned about the lives of the hurricane victims in Texas, what about the big businesses, the mortgage companies, the landlords, the utility companies? Did they have compassion on those same hurricane victims to the point where they froze their accounts? Because you know, in the midst of this confusion, destruction, and fear, people are displaced. Their homes are ruined. Their belongings are ruined. Lives were taken. But yet they still have to pay mortgage. They still have to pay rent. They still have to pay their car payments. They still owe the utility bill. And from what I've heard from a few people on Facebook, that there are hurricane victims that are even in the process of being evicted from their homes. But yet people pretend to care so much about the hurricane victims. But those bills don't stop coming in. Those big businesses are still looking for you to pay your mortgage, for you to pay your rent, for you to pay your utility bills. And if you fall behind, you not only have to pay what you owe, but you also have to pay interest on that. And it piles up. Does that mean that the hurricane victims that's paying child support are exempt from falling in arrears? So what if they're not able because they lost everything? They're trying to get their lives back. They're trying to get back on their feet. So they're spending money that they really don't have. While at the same time, the bills are piling in. Child support is due. And you're being threatened to be thrown in jail or your license suspended. But I don't hear anyone protesting against that. I don't hear anyone attacking these companies, these big businesses, like they did the preachers and the churches. Because certain churches allegedly refuse to open their doors. But yet people are being evicted from their homes. Forget about the circumstances. Forget about the tragedy that just took place. Forget about the fact that people have lost loved ones, have lost mothers and fathers and children. You still pay what you owe. But yet everyone is concerned about the churches and the preachers. So where is your priorities? Back to the topic at hand. I see so many cars that's lined up throughout Florida trying to run and escape the predicted most powerful hurricane that has ever been on the Atlantic. The most powerful. Now, whether this hurricane or these hurricanes are man-made or what have you, the point is the fact that people are capitalizing off of this because gas station prices had soared, had went up. Food prices, I'm sure in many places, have soared. If people want to get a room or a rent-a-car, the prices soared and went up. There's companies, there's businesses that still making money. Businesses still go on as usual, as normal. Business as normal. But yet, where's the protest and outcry for the people that's considered poor? And for the children, since everybody's so concerned about the children. What about the children? What about the children's parents that's not able to afford them now because they're trying to get on their feet because everything they owned had been destroyed? Capitalism. Hurricane capitalism. So while all these people are running from terror, everybody, the only people that don't appear to be afraid are the business owners, the corporations, the employees that's still working. They're not trying to get out. Why these big businesses are not trying to get out? They still have fuel trucks pulling up to supply fuel. But they're not in a hurry to get out. They're watching everyone else panic, but they're not panicky. They're not saying like, look, we have to close down business because we have to get out of here because Hurricane-Irma, the biggest hurricane that ever hit the Atlantic, is coming through. So listen, I'm sorry. I know y'all need gas, but we have to shut down. Why aren't these big businesses shutting down? They're getting fatter and fatter and fatter off the fear of people. And see, that only fuels the conspiracy theorists out there that believe that this is man-made and man-controlled. And I don't see as many people now talking about Trump like they were. They have taken many minds off of North Korea. And everybody's concerned about the hurricanes that's predicted to hit Florida, New York, Puerto Rico, the Caribbeans, Carolina. So these people are living in fear. at what's going to be that's not yet. I find that to be quite interesting. So after Irma, here comes Jose. After Jose, at the same time, is Katia, Katia, which is another hurricane. And what about those that are predicting tornadoes? So you have these cyclones just creating havoc and damage. And I want to say that this is all after the eclipse that took place. Now, many of us spoke on the eclipse. I read the book of Revelation. And of course, you had your naysayers that were saying that people were paranoid. They make fun of it. And even after the next day after the eclipse, there were people who were saying like, oh, it's really nothing. It's overrated. You mean to tell me I was afraid for nothing? Nothing happened. Everything is still the same. But immediately after these storms started coming through. It's quite interesting, huh? So why is our minds being taken off of a lot of the important issues that's in this world, that's in this country, and placed on Hurricane-Irma and Jose and Harvey and Katia? Not to mention, it's predicted of this volcano that's supposed to erupt in California. That's just sitting dormant. That's predicted to erupt any day. What type of storm and damage will that cause? So hurricane capitalism. This is all about making money. Not for us, but for big businesses. See, while you guys are out there fighting over black and white, Republican and Democrats, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, your lives are being destroyed right before your eyes, and you can't see it. You're so consumed with hate and distrust and fear that you really don't see how you're being manipulated and controlled, how you're being squeezed out of your resources. Your life's earning, the things that you've saved up. You worked so hard and you saved. So now you have to come out of your savings and give up. Why is money now so important to buy stuff? If they really care about people or mankind, and those that don't fall in line are ridiculed and bullied, like the churches and preachers, namely Joel Osteen. And there's people that still criticizing and attacking him. But yet no one is attacking the mortgage companies, the rent holders, the utility companies, cell phone companies. Because people are falling behind in their bills. They can't hardly eat and don't have a place to stay. But those companies, those businesses, want their money. And what if they don't get their monies on time? Well, you lose your services. But yet they care and they love the people so much that everybody's working together to try to help the victims of these hurricanes. But I still question in mind that if everybody is in a panic, just look at Florida. Everybody's in a panic and everybody's trying to flee the wrath and destruction that's coming. that the media is feeding your mind and emotions? Has anyone taken a moment to stop and look at those that's running the gas stations and the food places? They don't seem to be in a panic. They don't seem to be trying to get their families out or even themselves out. They're concerned with getting your dollars. Has anybody noticed that? If I saw a storm coming and I knew that we had so many hours or days, and there's cars that's lined up miles down the road just trying to get gas, you think I'm going to be wasting my time to make money off of them, knowing that my life could be in danger or my family's life could be in danger? But I'm sitting there calmly making money off the fear of people. And what do you think these big businesses are going to do while you're still struggling to get on your feet? They're going to restock. It's just like every year around the holidays or Christmas. Then they jack up the prices and whatnot because you have a lot of big businesses jacking up their prices. And after everything is sold out, they're going to restock with new stuff. All this new stuff that's going to be in the stores. They're going on with business as normal. And you're struggling. But you're concerned about Donald Trump. You're concerned about Joel Osteen, preachers in the church, Christianity, black and white. This is hurricane capitalism. Big business. So check out the link I put on the bottom. Feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe. Go to my Instagram. I am FearlessJ1111. I am FearlessJ1111. FearlessJ1111 on Twitter. FearlessJ2008 on Twitter. Fearless2005. FearlessJ1111 on YouTube. And click on the link and financially support this channel if you choose to do so. Feedback, tell me what you think. Till next time. I'm Fearless.